So, continuing on with sovereign money. Now, this idea is nothing new. Could have been the Labour government back in the 1930s, a big housing project, state housing. Is this ringing any bells? It was financed by New Zealand's Reserve Bank. Okay, 0% interest. Why not? That's our bank. We can choose the rate they lend it to us at. We need housing projects at the moment. There is a shortage of housing. There are a lot of poor people. We need equality. State housing project makes sense. Where should we get the money from? Should we borrow it from Switzerland, from a private bank, from wherever? Pay interest? New Zealand's debts, push it up? Or should we borrow it from New Zealand's Reserve Bank at 0% interest? Now we build houses, they will pay us, rent on the house. We will pay the bank back 0% interest. It can't go wrong. It's not new. Why is it not already happening? Because the government is corrupt, because they're married in with big business, banking profit. Pretty obvious, really. It's got to happen. Sovereign money. This is not quantitative easing, creating money and buying debt from banks and big business. This is using the Reserve Bank or central banks for evil, quantitative easing, evil. We're talking about friendly. Social credit is one name for it. Sovereign money is another. This can be grown into a whole new financial system. We could in the future take the right of private banks away and say, no, you don't create money anymore. If you want money for your business, you must borrow that money from New Zealand's Reserve Bank. We could do that in the future, but let's not rock the boat. All I'm saying is we give ourselves the right to create money for the people. This is our basic right to use our own bank. We've just forgotten the most basic fundamental principle of why you have a central bank for a nation, a reserve bank. Let's use it. How else could we use it? Universal basic income. You can stimulate the whole economy. Financial payments, we're talking about global depression right on the edge. Now you stimulate the economy by borrowing when you need it most, and that's now. Looking at the economic trends, now is the time to save it, to build that transition economy a different way, not to stimulate the failed businesses that should go bankrupt, but to give it back to the people. Universal basic income. And this should be accompanied by tax reform. So this would be a short-term borrowing of money from New Zealand's Reserve Bank. Treasury can borrow that from the Reserve Bank. And that will be paid back through taxes. But we will give ourselves a few years to make those tax adjustments. There's no pressure. Will it work? Got to get the taxes just right or we go bankrupt. No, we're borrowing the money from ourselves. We're not going to go bankrupt. We think, but what will the rest of the world think? Well, hey, the big 5 central banks of the world have been doing this since 2008. We are slow to reply. We should be doing this out of self-defense. If they're all doing it and we're not, it's good for them, it's bad for us. We're slow movers on this concept. It will be beneficial for us to participate in sovereign money for every reason. Let's do it.